So who is Raju Babu? Give it a guess. Who is Raju Babu? Raju Babu is a programming language that will help us, that user, after giving an input, this I want to say I want to print hello. Okay, after this input has been given to hello, I want to print on something on the machine doesn't know what is hello. How would a machine will know that it I want to say hello? So a programming language now comes into the picture. It will help us to know what a person is trying to communicate to the machine. So this hello will now be converted into this alien language, and what we call this alien language as a binary language. Right? What is this alien language? Binary language, because our machine, so this hello only and only and one more only machine language, that is binary language. Our machine only understand binary language. So whatever, if you want to say hello to your machine, first that hello will needs to convert it with the help of programming language to your machine. Right? Okay, have you ever given a thought that if this is your machine, I am sitting here and you are watching this video from your home, right? I have, say, just think it as a live conversation going on. So we are interacting one to one. So how in the real time the data is flowing from my machine to your machine? Give it a thought. How the data will be flowing? There is no like bridge in between. If someone can say, sir, with internet. Yes, that is right. With internet, but how? But how my data is flowing from the internet? Think how my data is flowing with the internet. Interesting part, right? So some might know the answer, some might not know the answer. So let's discuss this answer. So if I say the computer knows binary language, means in the form of 0101 it gets the data. So it also transfers the data in this manner 101010. अब don't worry on that part कि हम कैसे convert करेंगे, how we will be able to communicate the data into machine language. Don't worry on that part. Just assume I have given you some data and it is now converted into this binary language. Now how we will be able to transfer it to the other machine? So your machine has this data. So see, you know that we transfer data in form of signals in current. We can say if I want to transfer 0, so I will do 0 voltage, and if I want to transfer 1, I will give 5 volt. So how we will transfer the data? 0 volt, 5 volt, 0 volt, 5 volt, 0 volt, 5 volt, 0 volt, 5 volt, 0 volt, 5 volt. In this manner, with the help of current, my data from one machine gets transferred to the another machine. Interesting, right? Do you have any questions? Don't worry, we are looking into this part. Okay, so I hope now you got some clarity that with this picture our applications will run on operating system with the help of RAM, CPU and IO devices, right? And what are programming languages? We need someone, see, what we say it's called as high level language. What machine understand is low level language. So we need someone operator between us, that is called programming languages. I think this picture is clear to you. So what are languages? We have heard one name that we will be studying Python, but what all are other languages? What are different type of languages? So we have say Python, We have our language, Java, C++, C Sharp, C language. C is called as also as the mother of all languages. C is also called as mummy, mother of all languages. There is a reason behind this thing because you can see C++ has been written using C. Python has been written using in backend based on C only. All these programming languages are derived from C. That's why we call it as a mother of all languages. And why we are learning Python? This question must have been come to your mind because it's very simple, easy to understand, easy to understand, and the best part, very friendly for data science. We will be doing some data analysis. Python provides a very rich libraries that helps us to do data analysis. So it is to handle the data, to do data analysis, Python is very great library, have very great libraries such as, to mention, we have NumPy, Pandas library that you will be studying into the upcoming sessions, right? So that's why we are learning Python. Every language has its own perspective, its own benefits, right? So now this part is clear. Why we are learning Python? I think this must have been clear because simple to understand, very good for data science, very user friendly. Okay. Why? What is programming language? This information must have been clear to you. How this overall picture is going through, and now let's see. We there is something called IDE. What is IDE? Anyone knows already? IDE is integrated development environment. Integrated development environment. So we have just studied that we have something called as programming language, right? We have so many programming languages. Okay, but what makes a programming language works in that way? Acha, let's know, before going into that detail. To speak English, what are your basics? What you need to have to speak English? Think in your mind. If you want to speak English, what you should have? You should know tenses, right? You should know grammar. Yes or no? Agree or not? Yes. To speak Telugu, you need to learn some Telugu words. For same for Hindi, for any language. So it means there are some rules and syntax for every programming languages. So if you want to run some code, there are some rules how to write it. How to write in such a way that my programming language will understand that what you are trying to communicate, and then it will convert into the machine code. So we have certain languages that has their own rules, right? And all languages, if they have some rules, if C has their own rules, C sharp has their own rules, Python has their own rules. So to run any code somewhere, we need all these rules, and if I combine this rule at single place and now I can run my code, then I will call it as an environment, right? This is another environment. another environment. So what we are calling it is as environment, set of rules at one place is called as environment. Now what is IDE? Integrated Development Environment. Means we have set of programming languages, different programming languages, and to run all the programming languages need, we have some environment that we can run on. So this is a Visual Studio Code. So this is a tool. These all are a tools. These tools, on these tools we can set up an environment of any programming languages: Python, C sharp, C, R, any programming languages, right? C++. So this tool help us to integrate everything at one place and we can run our code, right? So see, if you want to drive a car, what do you need? You need a car, you need a petrol or diesel. Petrol or diesel, right? Then only you will be able to run the car now. Similarly, to run our car, that is our code, we need this petrol, right? Will you remember now? So these all are, you call it as a petrol or a car. This is called Android Studio. This is Eclipse, Spring, IG. We have different PyCharms. ठीक है, we have different platforms. So that is called an IDE. And how IDE help us? Let's see some key parameter that IDE is helping us. So IDE gives us code editor platform. Means we can write our code and edit it there. So then IDE will provide to us. Then it will provide compiler and interpreter. ये क्या चीज आ गई? Integration. Must be looking some heavy word, must be looking some easy word, right? So basically when I said you now, see this part, programming language is converting my code into a machine code, right? So who is doing this? Compiler or interpreter is doing it. What is interpreter? Python is an interpreted type of language. What is compiler? C, C++. Works on compiler. So what is different between compiler and interpreter? It is a way of converting it, right? Compiler converts the code in different way. Interpreter, Python converts into machine code in different way. So the process of doing it is called as different, can be different from language to language, right? And what other things IDE provides to us? Debugger. What is debugger? Means if you are writing any code and suddenly you get some error message, to identify at which line you are getting an error, we have a functionality of debugger. So that this IDE is providing to us. See, one IDE is giving us all the feature. So to run any code, you must need any platform to work on. This IDE is that platform and providing us these features, right? This and this is build tools. What is build tools? So if you want to make your own website, if you want to make your own app, if you are writing some code, what is the end goal? End goal that you should be having some a website deployed, web app deployed somewhere. You can visualize things. So to do that we are want tools. So that is called a build tools. So means whatever we are doing, we are able to build something out of it, right? Then some basic feature like auto completion. If you are writing some code, So means if you know the syntax already, it will suggest you, are you writing this? It automatically, if you open any bracket, it will suggest you to close the bracket. So it makes our work easy. So basically when you will go to the industry and you will be working on some big projects, you already must be knowing the syntaxes, right? So you want your work to be faster, and for that you will be needing this IDE. And what is the ultimate things? Git integrations. Don't think what is this Git and all, don't worry on that part. Let's simply understand one thing in a very layman language. This is गब्बर, ठीक है, अच्छा शब्बर, एंड इनका मैनेजर है, वी हैव देयर मैनेजर सिंघम, right? So Singham has assigned a task to Gabbar and Shabbar, ठीक है. So and the task is that Gabbar you need to make a website front page, Shabbar you need to make another page of it. So basically they are working on same project but different functionalities they are working on. And finally what Singham wants a output that is compiled together, right? So that we need to integrate code, means someone is working on X platform, some X place, this is working on another place, you are working from your own home, I am working from my own home, we are working on same project, I am doing some different work, ultimately I want to merge them. To make that merge very easy without any conflicts, we need some platform that is called as Git. So in future we will be learning what is Git and how we can integrate our projects. So this I think this must be a very fruitful session for you. You must have we have discussed so many things, how our computer works, what are programming languages, what are different tools, and what we can do on with this, right? So now let's do one thing. Let's do one activity, right? Let's see one activity. So you must, whatever you have learned till now, so you will get one MCQs will be displayed on your screen. So now you will be showing some MCQs, 5 MCQ will be there. Now try to solve it. Whatever the things that we discussed, on the basis of that we have framed one 5 MCQs for you. So I am waiting for you. Now just solve that MCQs. I will wait for 2-3 minutes. Take your time and solve it.
हा बरोबर आले. 5ची पॅच बरोबर आले मी. हो का नाही मी अरे लिहिणे ते बघ मी मादरची होते 1 नंबरचं कुत्र पोरग झालंय. आता चनला बसलोच नाही मी.
I hope now you must be able to solve this MCQ and you are able to solve it. So now let's move forward. We'll move on to the next part. Hello everyone, welcome to the another session. Here we will learn introduction to Python. We'll see what are variables in Python also. So now let's move on to the session. So introduction to Python and variables. What is Python? What is the first thing that strikes into your mind? Python a snake or Python a language? Right? So it's basically a question that comes into our mind where this Python name came from. Right? Curiosity is right. Now let's see. Let's see who is the creator of the Python. It's Udo van Rossum. He created the Python language and released in 1991, right, at research center in the Netherlands. And why this name is Python? It has also a story, very interesting one. Udo van Rossum was reading the script of a popular BBC comedy series, Monty Python's Flying Circus, and from there he got the intuition like he should give some a unique name to its language. So here from his this series he picked the word Python and given to this language. Interesting, right? So this is the intuition behind it from this series. So now let's see further. What's so special about Python? There should be some special thing about Python, right? So you see this image. If you see, we have one image. C language is shaking the hand with JavaScript. Chase is JavaScript, right? And this Python is doing like Spider-Man, our Spider-Man. So why is Python is doing so chill, and they are just like so tucked in. So basically in C, you need to write complete detailed syntax. Like for just example, if I want to store a water, then I need to define that I am storing the water should be a bottle specifically designed for the water only. So in the C language, I need to declare a detailed declaration of anything that I'm using. But in the Python, I will pour water and milk, and automatically with the Jadu, it will take the shape of the container. So means we need not to define what type of container I will be using in the Python, but I need to specifically mention what type of container should be there in C language. So that's why it is saying strongly statistical type, and here it is like strongly dynamically type. Dynamic means runtime. At runtime, it takes identify what is the value and declare the container in that way. What is that container? Container is simply a variable, right? Before going into container part, let's see. C is faster. The first question that comes into mind, sir, if Python is so good, everyone is using Python nowadays. So why C is still existing in the market, right? So C is faster in some sense than Python. But in Python there is so much flexibility, so much libraries are there that is a top notch for data science purpose, right? So and let's see which languages YouTube, Spotify, Pinterest, Instagram and Dropbox have used Python in the backend, Python and Django for their creation. So see, now you can say that. YouTube is made on Python, so now I will study Python, right? So now let's see. This part is clear why Python is important for you. Now let's see what are variables. Before we start any topic, we will ask two questions: why and how. Why means why we are studying this topic, and how means how in the Python the implementation will work. Okay? So before let understanding this variable part, let's understand this picture. In this picture, if you can observe, these yellow points are dynamic, means it will change from user to user. If you are a user, the value will be different for you. If I am a user and sitting in the different pin code, my pin code will be different. So you can see Amazon.in. If person is sitting in the US, that it will be Amazon.us. Here, instead of India, it will be US. Instead of Himanshu, it can be Chandu. Instead of card member value 60, it can be 10. So means something is behind the scene that is changing the value. That is called variable. So variable is what? It is like a bucket storing some value inside it, right? Bucket storing some value inside it. So means if I say Ramu is the bucket and I keep Shamu inside it. So if I call Ramu, come here, so Shamu will come. The value of Shamu will be printed, right? Because the bucket name is Ramu, but inside it Shamu is there. So that is called variable. Let's see further. So if I say a equals to 10, means I am declaring a variable 10 and assigning the value inside a. So means I have created one bucket called a and 10 inside this. So this is my variable. अब see, there are some rules. If you are learning any programming language, there are some rules. So variable name must start with a letter. Variable name must start with a letter or an underscore character. This is rule. A variable name cannot start with a number. It has to start with some letter or this. So this is an error part. Okay? This is rules. A variable name can only contain alphanumeric. Either it can uppercase, lowercase, or 0 to 9, or it can underscore. These all a variable can contain. Dash, dollar, these all cannot contain by variable. Variable names are case sensitive, means if I am declaring age, small age, capital A, and this all are different. Let's see the example. This, if my name, I stored this name as name and underscore name is name, yo-yo, these both are different things. Now let's see again. Name, small n, small thing, yo-yo, capital N, Himanshu, capital name, cool. So these all three are different. So this is means variables are case sensitive, right? Now let's see how we declare a variable. One way we have shown you a equals to 10, right? Let's
ड्राइव
see how
कर
we
दिया
can
भाई ने
declare
तो
a
भाई
multiple things. Okay?
हाँ,
And before declaring, we let's see how we can see when you are in the company and you are making some projects, right? Your manager asks you, beta, do one thing, declare 10-15 variables with this name. Up see, my car, if I store it in that way, so some can read Mike or my car. Some can read Micah R, Micah R, and some can read my car. So see, you can see there is a lots of confusion. To avoid such confusion, there is some casing mechanism. If you write the thing in that way, then it creates sense. Camel case means first letter will be small, my, and whenever there is another word that we will say capital, my car. So it's readable and it will be easy for us. First price value, F is small, first, then P is capital, price value. Similarly, Pascal case cases, keep every character as a capital. My bag. Here it says first character should be small and another word can be capital. Here it is saying M will be capital, any other word can be capital. And snake case is saying use underscore. My space by underscore. That is on the safer side. Right? So now let's see if I want to print something in the Python, how I can use it. Simple, basic, simple command print bracket this and we can pass a syntax into it. So if you are using a WhatsApp mobile, if someone send you a message, you get a message on your phone, right? So how that message is printed, this command will be running in the background. Hello, print, hello bro, welcome to the learning of Python. So how we need to write it? Print double quotes and inside it whatever I will write, it will print as it is, right? So we will be using one tool called Google Colab. It's by Google, and the interface will be like this. You need to write your code here, and after writing code, you simply need to click run here. That's it. Simple bingo, plain, nothing else. Okay? Let me show you how we can do this. So basically, you need to go to Google, your browser, type Google Colab. The first link will come here. Click here, and you need to sign in with your Gmail ID, right? Google ID. Then create new notebook here. So after this, I have created my first notebook. I have given some name here, and now I will try to declare something. Print Himanshu Sharma. I want to print this as it is. Now let's click run here. It printed Himanshu Sharma. That's it. Now let's declare some variable. We have learned variable a equals hello, and now I will print a. I'm not printing hello. I'm printing a. It will print hello. Why? Because hello string has been stored in the variable a. Right? Let's create some more variables. My friend's name. This is again variable is Shubham. Now if I print, my friend's name, it will print Shubham for me. So this is a called a variable declaration, right? Okay. Now let's do one thing. We have planned some activity for you. Now it's activity time. Whatever the topics that we have discussed, okay, a MCQ will be generated on your screen. Solve that MCQ based on these problems. Okay, now do it.
What what will happen if you try to use reverse keyword like if?
Okay.
Oh my
Now I
god.
hope you will be able to solve the problems that has been displayed on the screen. Okay. Now let's move forward. Welcome students to our another session of problem discussion. Here we will be discussing the problems that have been given to you in the session of introduction to Python and variables. So you have been provided 5 MCQ questions, right? So we will be discussing the solution of that questions. Okay. Now let's see these questions. So quickly let's see what is Python. Okay. This question was given to you. Okay. Now let's read the options together. Is it a computer hardware?
Huh?
No.
Nice.
Is it a high level language? Yes, something strikes into your mind now.
Yeah,
In the
that's the
last
most
video,
important
we
thing
have
you
seen
need to
high
know.
level language.
Bill.
And what is this interpreted programming
Another
language? So there are two types of language. Basically, one is compiler
course happened
that
बघ
use compiler, and the another is use interpreter.
तेच वारा येत नाही इकडं
So this let me tell you the basic difference between the two. Compiler, if your code is there na,
हम्म
it convert your code into machine code at one go completely and give you the errors. Whereas interpreter check one line, if there is error, it will report it to you.
उद्या
Check
म्हणलो
another
आज
line,
जरा
if
ले
there is any an error,
म्हणले
it will report it to
थकवा
you.
झाला ना
So it checks line by line.
रात्री उगाच
So this is
जागलो
the
एवढा
difference
वेळ
between compiler and interpreter. So
अभ्यास करत होतो
Python
ना
is
तर
an
मला जागून काय
interpreted
मजा येत
programming
होती का
language, right? That is the right answer. A database management system, no, a big no. An operating system, a big no, right? Now let's see the next question. Which of the following best describes a variable in Python, right? Now
माझी
let's see
पण राहिली
what is a
होती
variable in Python. A
सगळ्यात
fixed
चांगला आहे
value
ना
that
मी
cannot be changed during the program. No, because you know, if we have seen the example of Amazon website, right? So in that example, we have seen my name is coming. So for you, the name can be different. So the value cannot be changed is a wrong statement because a variable according to the user will be having a different type of value,
ओ माय
right? A
हेल्थ
named
क्रॅम्प
storage
आले
location in the memory that holds data. Okay, a named storage location. Let's think in your mind. Named storage, yes. A storage location is there, fine. Named, yes, we have given a name to variable that holds the data, right? Everything is matching. That holds the data and a named storage location. That is the definition of the variable. That is the right answer, right? Okay, now let's see what are the other two options. A function used to perform calculation. It's not a function. A special keyword used to end the program. Now let's see what is special keyword. Let's understand why we are reading all the four options, because for each wrong answer also we trying to understand what is the concept behind it, because if that option is there means something is there, right? Just a second. Huh. So means okay. So we will need to identify wrong option also, right? Keyword. What are keywords in Python? We have reserved some names for our own purpose. So like if Python say, "Yeah, I will use this word for defining my function, this word for defining my conditions, this word uh, for defining my another function." So Python said, "Yeah, bhai, I have taken some few keywords, don't use it." So that's why you
मला
cannot
सुट्टी आहे ना तुम्हाला
use reserved keywords
बरं झालं
in
सुट्टी
Python to
निघाली
declare a
नाहीतर
variable.
यांचं काय
So
नाटक
now what is
काढतात
your
ना
task?
नवीन नवीन
Your task is to identify the reserved keywords in Python.
What?
That is your homework. Will you do it? I hope you will do it. Okay, now let's move forward. Which of the following is a valid variable name? Okay, now let's see it. Can a variable name start with 1, 2, 3? No. Can it have an special character? No. Can it have an underscore? Yes. Can it start from any alphabet letter? Yes. And again, what is this? This is a reserved keyword. Reserved keyword cannot be a variable name, right? I assume most of you have got confused between C and D, if I'm not wrong, right? So this is a reserved keyword, we cannot use it. What is not a rule for declaring a variables in
Harus
Python?
tambah.
Let's see. Variable must start with letter underscore. Yes, that is a rule. Good. Variables cannot start with a number. Mm-mm-mm. Yes, cannot. ठीक है, that is also root, cannot start. Variables can contain spaces. No bhai, there is no such rule, right? Another, variables are case sensitive. Yes, big true. We have seen age is different than age and this different than age, right? This is case sensitive. Okay, now let's see the final question. What will happen if you try to use a reserved keyword like if is also an reserved keyword, right? क्या होगा? If we try to declare a variable name with a reserved keyword, Python will throw a syntax error. अब देखो, the first option, Python will run without issue, is no, it will not run. The reserved keyword will be overwritten, no. Python will automatically renew the variable, no. But it will throw an error, bhai. Don't use my variable names that are reserved keywords, right? So I hope with this discussion session you must have got some more clarity on this, right? So now let's move forward. We have a few more set of questions for you. Now let's try to attempt that question. Okay, so I'm waiting for you. Attempt that questions.
Apa? अरे भाई मेरे को
Okay,
खुलवा ही
I
देता.
hope now you are able to attempt all this question. Okay, now let's move forward. Hello everyone. So previously also we have discussed the problems that we have been generated in the MCQs of each session, but we still know that you are still facing some problem. So maybe there can be the issue of some concept generation, that the concept that we have discussed. Maybe you skipped something. So for that we have our IAs onboarded. You can raise your queries in the chats. So IA will be solving the problem. Okay, you raise your queries now.
असलं शाळेमध्ये काही विचारत नाहीत साहेब आता. पैसे आहेत का द्या म्हणतात मोकळं. एक पुढच्या वर्षी काढून टाकू तू फी नाही भरली तर. काय लोक आधीच टाईट ठेवतात, मग माझे क्लायंटच ठेवत नाही. काय काय लोक 2-2 वर्ष फी भरत नाही त्यांना काही नालायकपणा करतात. नाही तर देऊ नाही थोडा वेळ थांबला 1 मिनिट. म्हणजे नाही आता मागण्याचं नाही बोलताय कारण नाहीये काय काम त्याकडे, तर संपलंय का लगेच 9 वाजता. हम्म. आता कस वाटतंय शीतगार वाटतंय. मग 10 वाजेपर्यंत आहे ना आज. आज 10:30 पर्यंत आहे सेवेचं लेक्चर. नाही, हा 10:30 पर्यंत यायचं.
So I hope your all the doubts must have been clarified by now. Okay, now let's move forward. Welcome students for another lecture. In this lecture, we will be learning introduction to data types. So in the last few lectures, we have covered what is Python, why we require this language, what are variables, and now we will move forward towards what are data types, right? And we have also seen a Google Colab how to run our first Python code. Let's move forward. Now, as you can see on the screen, data types, right? What are data types? So, see, just honestly tell me one thing.
हम्म.
If you want to store, uh, say, if you want to store an apple, do you need, if you want to store two apples, then do you need a drum or a bucket? Small bucket will also do the job, right? If you want to store only two small apples, small bucket, small bucket will do the job. Or do you need a big drum for it? Do you need a drum? Answer must be no, right? Similarly, each data type has its own size and specification. So basically, size tells us how much data we should the data will store, right? So it takes an optimized approach. Like if you want to store a boolean value, what is boolean value? Don't worry, we will see in detail. If you see what is float value, a value that is containing some decimal part, 3.4, 3.24, some decimal part is there. So then we call that variable as a float variable. If we want to store our name, address, something that contains a mixture of text and number, then that we will give the type of data is string. And if you want to store only numbers, then that type of data will be known as integer. Now let's see some real life example. If we have a gathering of 10-15 people in a marriage, if I want to count that people, then I will use an integer variable, right? If I want to count how many coins are there, number of coins, then again I will use an integer. But if I want to store the print the name on the necklace for computer, what is this numbers? It is a group of symbols put together in a string. So basically it's each are character. So this we will store in what type of container? String type of container. Type will be string. And see, if you're storing a number plate data, if you're storing a number plate data, then it could be either a number plate or a mixture of number and alphabets. So it is not necessary that what it will be, because it will be string only, because this number will be treated as string. What is the difference between the two? If we store number as a number, then we can perform some operations on it. But if we store number as a string, then there is a different type of operation. Mathematical operation we cannot do. So that is the difference between basic data types. Okay, chalo, let's do a small quiz for you. Think of any other example like a car number plate where sequence number is not important for their value, where we can just simply ignore the value. Think of some examples. Chalo, now let's discuss it. Aadhaar card. Aadhaar card, is the number is any relevant for you for mathematical operation? No, right? This is sequence of number, right? PAN card, right? These type of such examples where sequence of numbers is not important. PAN card can be contain K L J M 1 2 3 J. Number is there, but that doesn't make any sense. So such type places where number does not make any relevance for you, then we can be use string as that combination, right? Now let's see what is boolean variable. Are you happy while you are attending this lecture? Are you happy? If you are smiling right now, then the answer is yes. If you are like boring kind of that, your answer will be no. There can be two possibilities, right? Are you happy or not? Is there any other possibility? No. So means boolean
तो
will
मेरे
be
को
where the
ये ढूंढना,
possibility
ये
is
सबसे
only
बड़ा
yes or no, true
ये
or
होता है
false.
इसमें।
That we call it as a boolean variable. Funda clear? Are you happy now? I'm assuming you must be happy now. Okay? So raise your hands when you are happy now. Is he a boy? Is this a boy? Okay? Yes. Answer can be yes or answer can be no. ठीक है? Can we
वैसे थोड़ा
identify?
बुरा हो,
It's a
मला
train.
इथं काम
ठीक है?
चाललंय, या
Bird is
आईची
there.
गाण काय
Okay, now
हसवतोय
let's say it's a
कानाचा.
boy only. Or there is no pink color. ठीक है? Okay, now I'm just not just making this as something. ठीक है? So basically, is we are saying is he boy? The answer can be yes or answer can be no, right? So
What
that is
happened?
called as boolean, where the answer can be yes or no only. So we do
हा
we need a
आठवड्याचा
very
पहिला
big
आहे का
variable
सर?
declaration to store
मागचा
just
आठवडा पण
yes or
होता.
no? No. So that's why boolean takes
मागचा
very
आठवडा
less
कधी
space.
चालू झाला?
Okay, now let's see this. Weight of the basket.
माझ्या मागचा
It can
बुधवारची
be
तारीख सांगा ना.
28.2 kilograms.
आज 19 आहे
It
का?
can be
काय
anything. So
बोलता का
if
हो?
the decimal part is involved, so that's called
झोपेत
as
जागीच होत
floating
नाही
point.
ते.
Just a second. ठीक है. Bitcoin value. Bitcoin value
हा
can be any
मागच्या
value.
बुधवारी काय होतं?
20, one
5
Bitcoin will be
तारखेला गेलतो ना कॉलेजला मी.
23.8 something. So there can be possibility of floating point. So that's why where decimal part is involved, I store that variable
पुन्हा
as a floating point. And now let's see, there we have some declaration where many values to multiple variables. So if I want to assign multiple values to multiple variables, I have this kind of declaration. Box will be allocated to X, pencil will be allocated to Y, eraser will be allocated to Z. If I
तो
tell
मेरे को
now
ये
X
ढूंढना
dot pencil will print it, Z pencil will print it, print Y. So this is called many values to multiple variables. Another case is one value to multiple variables. Means Maggie has been assigned to A, B, C, right? A, B, C. So we can say multiple variables are attached to A, B, C. So this way we can assign one value to multiple variables. This funda is clear. We have certain types of variable. We have seen real life example. Now let's see typecasting. What is typecasting? Okay. Typecasting is basically when Python, if you okay, how to declare variables? A equals to 10. Automatically it will take an integer. We will not say it is an integer. We will see, don't worry now. B equals to 3.8. It will automatically take float without any uh, proper defining thing. It is dynamically taking. So that's why saying implicit typecasting means in this Python convert data type automatically. Okay. Or what is explicitly? Okay, now let before going into that detail, let's see some coding part so that you will be able to understand it. Okay. So now let's declare a variable a equals to 10. Okay. This is my variable declaration. B equals to 3.45. C equals to Himanshu. And let's say D equals to true. Answer can be yes or no, true or false, right? Now let's check. So I have declared these variables. Now let's print it. Print A. One way of printing it to print separately. Another way of
Hey, I'm
printing
not
it
able to
to
find
print
the
it
storage where I
print
stored
A,
the
comma B,
meaning of
comma C, comma D. This way you can
RAM
print.
and memory as
10, 3.5,
engine
Himanshu and D.
and
This is just the
fuel.
value that we are
Without
printing
this, they
inside the
cannot
variable.
start. Can you
Now I
recollect
want to
my
check
thoughts
A is
related to
of
it?
what type. So did I declare A is of integer type? No. Did I declare it's a floating point? No. Did I declare it's a string? No. True, false? No. So now let's see how it is taking things. Print type. This will give me what type of variable is A of. A is of class int. Did we declare int anywhere?
I'm not
No.
able to
So it
find.
dynamically
Can you help me to
available.
find where whatever I store
Print
above
type
it?
B. Did we declare float? No. Right? Similarly, if I say print type C,
अबे
it created
ज़्यादा
as a
अपना
string.
ही वेस्ट हो रहा है
ठीक है? And finally let's say print type D bool, class bool. So it's a boolean. ठीक है? अब what if I know the value that I am giving is of something different data type. Say if I know, now let's see here, now let's come back here. I know that value that I am giving is a floating type, but I want to save it as a integer. Getting a difference? I know the value is 3.8, but I want that value to be stored as only 3.
I'm
So
not
there
able
we
to.
need
Can
the
you collect my thoughts
explicit
on that
typecasting where
day
I am
about
forcing the
I'll
person
store
to store
about the
my value in that way.
programming
So now let's
languages?
see. If I have some number, ठीक है, a equals to 8, ठीक है. Now let's come back to coding part. So I know
हाँ इधर ये
this
टाइप का
b is equals to,
cars.
what is b? b is a floating point. But I want to, what I want to do, I want to create one more variable b1, ठीक है, but I want to make it int. and now let's print. ठीक है, print b1.
इधर
So
ही है तो
that
वो
is an explicit typecasting. We are forcing it
अच्छा
to convert my floating point into a integer. So that is our
तेरा
implicit
क्या हो रहा है बताइए
typecasting, right? So now we have covered everything. ठीक है, now it's time for activity. So on your screen it will be displayed, some activity will be displayed to you. So you need to do that activity. 5 MCQ question will be displayed, try to attempt it.
हाँ मैं एक गलत किया क्या मैंने माय फ्लोट वाले मैं शेयर नहीं कर सकती क्या मैं Instead of sticking to car, I have got a new idea that using int, float, star them as the different glass types that we have. The glass types for drinking, martini glass, shot glass, beer glass,
Okay, I
whiskey
hope you
glass.
will be you must have been able to solve this question. Okay, now let's move forward.
That's but yeah, what do you think? The car analogy of the data types is getting little confusion. What do you think? अभी तो खत्म होना है। ओके।
Minute. Got it? You can like try to match with your answers with the answers given by the IA. Yes, Rohit.
Hi sir.
Hi, Rohit. So, Rohit, what's your doubt?
Uh, I thought the session got ended, so I thought there's a new session starting.
No, there won't be any new sessions currently, but yeah, at 10:30 you have an ask and learn session, and I have clearly explained why the session actually ended for
Yeah.
you guys. And if you still have any doubt, you can please ask me what is the reason that the session got ended. Rohit.
Yes sir.
So, Rohit, the session that you attended today is a SAL-based session. Okay, what SAL stands for? Simulative Adaptive Learning.
Mhm.
So, there was a concept that was taught to you. Can you tell me what was the concept taught to you?
Yeah, the basics of Python about printing the and the some variables.
Yes. So, all the concept was precisely understood. You understood the concept very well, right? It was precise
Yes.
and understandable. Okay. So that is the reason the session got ended because to know your understanding, your level of understanding, how quick learner you are, we just brought up a checkpoint there. That was a quiz that you attended in the last. Okay. So in the quiz, what happened? You were asked some couple of questions, and out of that, most of the questions you have answered well, which made us believe that you have understood the concept. That's why there was no point in continuing the uh, session. Okay, so there are your classmates who are still attending the session. Why is it? Because they need a better understanding on some particular concepts. So based on the result of the particular quiz, they continued attending the sessions.
Okay sir. Thank you.
All right. Thank you, Rohit. Make sure you attend the ask and learn hours also so that you can have a better understanding on the concepts.
Sure sir. Thank you. अरे मला लवकर कळलं बहुतेक. मला वाटलं माझं लवकर का संपलं 10:30 पर्यंत क्लास होता. त्यांना लवकर चांगली उत्तरं त्यांना लवकर सांगतात. त्यांना नाही आली त्यांना बसवून ठेवलं. साडेनऊला चालू लागतं ना.